Good evening and welcome to episode 2 of Just Winning. I'm your host, Jon Whitley, and I am extra fired up this week because we are just 2 days away from the start of the NFL season. I'm joined today by Jeff Laux. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm ready to talk some football, man. Glad to be back.
Nice. And I'm also here with contributor to High Q News, Kyle Dewitt. Kyle, how are you today?
Doing well. Excited for the second show of the year.
Nice. So you actually had an article this week on High Q News called Way Too Early NFL Award Predictions. So that is what we're going to get into on this first segment of the episode. I read your article last night. Very good nighttime read. I highly recommend it to anybody listening. So let's get right into it. Jeff, who is your comeback player of the year?
Comeback player of the year. I'm going to go Jamal Adams. I mean, he was great with the Jets, but putting him into a winning team like the Seahawks, I mean, Russell Wilson's been winning with terrible O-lines for the past, 3 years? Now you give him some help on the defense. Now he has less pressure on the defense to make up for the points that they give up. I mean, Jamal Adams is going to really bring some leadership into that team's defense.
I expect him to have a great season for sure. I mean, he's a dude who can make plays on any part of the defense. You know, you can put him single high, you can bring him down in the box. Yeah. So really all around great safety. I don't know if I see him as a comeback player of the year just because, not the likely candidate.
Yeah.
But Kyle, who's your comeback player?
My comeback player of the year is actually Cam Newton. He's been off for a year. He's in a great system now with Belichick, and from rumors, they have completely switched up their offense, and I feel like it's going to fit Cam perfectly. He's in the best shape of his career. So it's all Cam. And the reason why I don't think Jamal Adams comeback player of the year, he was an all-pro last year. So
yeah, exactly. So it's not really a comeback story.
Really
it's not like he was battling injuries. But, I like that you brought his name up because great player. I do expect a great season for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like what you said with Cam Newton because I think he kind of has the easiest road for it because I think it's easiest for a quarterback to win comeback player of the year or really any award for that matter. And then I think also being in a great system with that McDaniels Belichick, a system that's proven to work, a system that makes it easy on their quarterback. So with his physical tools, I think he has a chance to have a really great season.
And in a very weak division as well.
And in a very weak division. I'm glad you brought that up. My comeback player of the year is actually A.J. Green.
Okay.
He's a little under the radar one. I think most people right now, they've got Cam Newton, they've got Ben Roethlisberger. I'm actually going to go A.J. Green. I think he's still young enough that he can still. A lot of wide receivers put up good seasons at his age, and I think getting a new quarterback in there. Last year I think if he wanted to force it, he was healthy enough to play. So I think now he's so rested and so healthy. I think he's primed to have a really big season.
Oh, yeah.
So he's, 31 years old?
Yeah, 31 years old. Yep. So, I mean, a lot of wide receivers have great seasons at 31 years old.
Yeah. I mean, brand new quarterback, and they have a lot of weapons, man. I mean, Boyd's nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
going out and getting T. Higgins. Solid running back room as well.
And you still got John Ross III as well. It'll probably hopefully take off some double teams from Green and hopefully get him more touches.
Yeah. So a little under the radar, but that's who I'm going with. Jeff, who is your offensive rookie of the year?
Offensive rookie of the year? Okay. Out of fantasy, man, I chose Henry Ruggs pretty much in every fantasy league, and that's because I honestly believe he's going to be offensive rookie of the year. I mean, look at where he is right now. He's going to be the number one wide receiver option coming in, and he's in a brand new team, brand new area. He's going to have a nice system for him laying there, just for him to come up there and pick it back up. He's a speedster. I mean, I can see Jerry Jeudy maybe competing, maybe CeeDee Lamb just to the quarterback quality. But at the same time, I think Henry Ruggs has the physical talent to be a John Ross-esque type of player, but also have the mental strength to be a Larry Fitzgerald. I have seen interviews of him, and he actually reads defenses pretty well, and he also really has played against top level competition throughout college. So.
Yeah, I think Alabama does a good job really getting their guys pro ready.
Oh yeah.
I think also he has a really good shot just because from day one he's going to be a big player in that offense. Have a big role because the Raiders, they have a pretty weak wide receiver room. Let's call it what it is. So he's going to get a lot of touches right off the bat from week one, I'm expecting.
Especially since their number one last year was Tyrell Williams and then Darren Waller, the tight end position. They're going to stick Henry Ruggs in the slot, and he's going to probably get a lot of touches.
Yeah, I expect a lot. And, Gruden with that kind of speed is going to, fall in love and want to go to him, I'm talking about 12 catches a game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he could do that. Kyle, who is your offensive rookie of the year?
It's not a quarterback. It's not a wide receiver. It's a running back. He was picked in the last pick of the first round by the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Damian Williams opted out of this season. Edwards-Helaire is going to be the premier back this season, and it's just the Chiefs' offense. He's going to get a lot of touches. He's thrived in inside zone runs at LSU, and that's all Kansas City's run game is inside zone. And he's also really good at catching passes out of the backfield. And Mahomes is just the best quarterback in the league. He's going to get a lot of touches, and I feel like he's going to get a lot of yards. You'll see it on Thursday night.
I think that's a really good one because I think that running backs have done really well in Kansas City. I mean, even Damian Williams performed really well, and I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire has more talent than him. We'll see. Is he more talented than Kareem Hunt? I don't know, but I don't know that he has to be.
He doesn't have to be in that offense, especially since whenever Kareem Hunt was there, that offense wasn't as prolific as it was whenever he left.
That is a very good point. Very good point. My offensive rookie of the year, also a running back, also a little more under the radar right now. I'm going to go Cam Akers because for the Rams to get back to where they were in their Super Bowl season, they need to pound the rock. Last year, they had to load manage Todd Gurley, so they couldn't do that. I think Cam Akers, really talented running back, a guy who you can give a lot of carries. You can give him 20-plus carries a game. So I think, they're going to force feed him to get that offense back on track, get back to where they once were.
Oh, yeah. While at Florida State, I mean, he was fantastic. Besides Willie Taggart's failure of two years of his career.
Yeah, besides having to play for Florida State, he was awesome.
He was amazing. So I can see that ranking.
For having a horrible offensive line, he did play really well.
Oh, yeah.
But Sean McVay did come out and say that they're going to go running back by committee the first few weeks, and he'll be splitting carries with Darrell Henderson and splitting touch with Darrell Henderson. So hopefully, I do like the pick with Cam Akers. I think it's a little bit under the radar, but we'll see how it is the first few weeks.
And I think these days every running back room is by committee. I think of course your coach is going to say that to keep morale up, but I just won't be surprised if week by week we start seeing those carries go more to Cam Akers.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, who is your defensive rookie of the year?
Defensive rookie of the year. So this one I've been thinking about a lot because I think there's a lot of defensive rookies that came to this league this year that have been really, really they have a lot of potential compared to last year. Because last year we had Greedy Williams, you had a couple other guys like that, but no one really broke out of that class in my opinion. The class before Darius Leonard and Van Der Esch. I think this year's gonna be really different, and I think Kyle Duggar is gonna be my defensive rookie of the year. I mean, he won the Cliff Harris Award, which is the best defensive player in the Division II of NCAA. I mean, what else can you ask of a defensive player when he's coming into the league? I mean, he has all the accolades, and if you look at the highlight tape, he's scary. He's scary what you can see under the system of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick will make his life easier, and he will make Bill Belichick's life easier at the same time. It's gonna be a nice role. He's gonna take over Patrick Chung, and he's gonna look really good in his role. He's an athletic specimen. I mean, Division II players are up on they're coming.
Yeah,
They're really
I
coming.
will say he's one of the guys from this draft, offense or defense, that I'm most excited to see because it was such a surprising pick when the Patriots went and grabbed him. So they must have saw something, and they haven't always drafted well in the past, but I still trust their player personnel department.
They picked him up so early, especially for being a Division II player that's unheard of still.
I trust Bill though, man.
I trust Bill completely 100%.
Trust the GOAT, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Kyle, who is your defensive rookie of the year?
Probably the most popular pick of everybody. He's the most versatile defensive player in the draft. He can play safety, play linebacker, you can throw him at a defensive end. And there's not really many players in the NFL that can do that, and that's Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. He can play you can put him anywhere on the field and he'll make plays. I feel like he's going to be the standout player for that Cardinals defense who's struggling. And I feel like he'll force the most turnovers and he'll get the most tackles on the team, and I feel like they're going to give him the award at the end of the year.
Nice. I think that's a really good pick. I remember leading up to the draft, some scouts were saying NFL guys didn't like him as much as people expected. They didn't think his game was going to translate well. But you know what? My defensive rookie of the year is also Isaiah Simmons because, I think he has a chance to be that Jamal Adams, that Derwin James type of guy where he can play every spot on your defense. You can put him in the box. You could put him single high. And that's kind of the future right now. That's what every team is looking for. So.
And he's 6'4", 238 pounds,
Yeah.
and runs a 4.4. That's unheard of.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with a guy like that.
You can stick him at defensive end and be a pass rusher. He's done. He did that at Clemson.
Yeah.
He's done it all.
Yeah, and that's why I
feel
think it was such a good pick because that defense really needed a boost. You've got your edge rusher with Chandler Jones, but outside of that, it was a struggling defense last year. So to get a guy who's probably was the most versatile player in the draft period, I think great pick. I think he's gonna have a big rookie year.
Well, I'm terrified. If I'm gonna be playing with you, he gives me Jabril Pepper vibes. As a Cleveland Browns fan, I was sucked into that hype where he was at Michigan. He was tearing it up, man. Linebacker, strong safety returner. I mean, he was looking really, really good, and that's what Isaiah Simmons gives me. Isaiah Simmons is a little more physically talented, and I think overall his game is definitely better than what it was for Jabril Peppers coming in. Jabril Peppers is still a good player as of right now with the Giants, but he should have been something like of Isaiah Simmons, where he's at right now, where everyone's thinking that he's going to be, this dual threat player that can go all over the field, change the Cardinals' fortunes, because the Cardinals have not been good in this division in a minute,
No, they haven't.
Think about Carson Palmer, that's the last time I'm like, wow, when have they been at the top of their division, the top? And
I think they have a chance to get back there this year, but it's just such a tough division that we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I also trust Cliff Kingsbury to put Isaiah Simmons in the right spot because they need help everywhere, and so they're gonna stick Isaiah Simmons wherever they feel comfortable and wherever he fits best because he's gonna be the best player regardless of what position they put him. Where he fits best.
Definitely. It might take a couple weeks to sort out, but here's the thing: defensive rookie of the year is not. You don't have to be an All-Pro your rookie year. You just got to make a few big plays here and there, and the award's yours to lose.
Even though the past few defensive rookie of the years have been Pro Bowlers.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Jeff, who is your defensive player of the year?
Defensive player of the year. So I already said his name once. I'm going to say it twice because I truly believe in Jamal Adams. He's honestly my favorite player just because he really wants to win. And now he's on that winning team. And I can't see anyone stopping him because the overall system Pete Carroll has over there, the defense, once they get a good player in there, if you really showcase the player, like the Griffins per se. I mean, when you saw Shaquem in there, Shaquem was just running everywhere, rampant. Once they put him on special teams, we're like, okay, that's the end of him. But then you saw Shaquille turn up. You saw a lot of other players start turning up in these smaller roles. Whether I just think the Seahawks overall, their secondary is going to complement Jamal Adams, and he's going to tear it up and have another All-Pro season just like last season. But he's going to have a better season this season. I think he's going to be a top 10 strong safety.
That's why he's comeback player of the year, right?
Top 10 strong safety of all time.
After All-Pro, it's hard to come back from those All-Pro seasons.
But All-Pro seasons under a terrible organization. I think he's going to make the Seahawks a really big contender this year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Kyle, who is your defensive player of the year?
My pick's another Seahawks player, but it's Bobby Wagner, not Jamal Adams.
That guy is a football player.
He's the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, and probably the best tackling linebacker in the NFL now too, since Luke Kuechly's gone. With the way Jamal Adams now contends with that defense, they added some more defensive line in the free agency. It just takes double teams away from Bobby Wagner, and he'll force turnovers. I think he's the best linebacker in the NFL by far, and he's probably the second best defensive player in the NFL behind Aaron Donald. And he's been snubbed of the award the past few years because Aaron Donald won 3 straight. I think it's just his time, especially since the Seahawks, I do believe, will have a great season. And I think they're going to give him the respect he finally deserves.
Nice. I sure hope you're right because he is very deserving. My defensive player of the year is Tre'Davious White. I think, last year we saw a corner win it with Stephon Gilmore. So I think that trend's going to continue, and I think Tre'Davious White is a guy who's really just as talented as Stephon Gilmore, who's looking to prove that he's better than Stephon Gilmore and get paid. So that's who I'm going with for defensive player of the year.
Yeah, same division, man. That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
I really like that pick, too. It's a good pick.
Great corner.
Very undervalued.
Yeah, and another one of those LSU DBs who's balling out in the league just like Jamal Adams.
DBU.
Yeah, man.
DBU. And I think that's unquestioned at this point.
It's unquestioned.
Hopefully Greedy Williams shows up for the Browns, man. That'd be great.
Hopefully.
Also.
I mean, he was.
I don't think he will.
You don't think he will?
After last year, I'm kind of writing him off.
Yeah, injuries have really bugged him, but
I didn't see anything. I turn on the film, I don't see anything special.
He's speedy though. He gives hopefully Denzel can teach him something. Denzel Ward, the Admiral, the General, what you want to call him. I think he's definitely top 15 in the league right now.
Yeah.
He's gonna keep on rising as soon as he stops with his injuries, and hopefully he helps Greedy out along the way.
We'll see. It'll certainly be exciting to watch that Browns team this year. Jeff, who is your offensive player of the year?
Offensive player of the year, I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara. I don't
Interesting.
I don't think that the Saints are gonna take a step back, but I also think that they're not gonna take a step forward. I think they're gonna be in the same area because I also believe that Tampa Bay is gonna be right in their necks because look at that talent that they have going over there. Back to Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is the perfect dual threat option for an offense, especially with Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. They're going to start switching him back in and forth because I don't think Drew Brees is going to have as great of a season as he did last season because no one can.
And he's just getting older. He's on the other side of 40 now.
Oh, yeah.
I think Father Time's going to catch up to him this year.
Oh, yeah, he hit his peak, but look at the weapons, man. It's insane how many weapons he has.
Bringing in Emmanuel Sanders, I think, is huge for that offense.
Yeah.
I think maybe the best signing this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
Short of the Bucks, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
but
underrated.
best non-Buck signing, Emmanuel Sanders, I think.
Yeah.
But why do you think that Alvin Kamara is so slept on? When we're talking about best running backs in the league, you're mentioning, 3, 4, 5 guys before you get to Alvin Kamara's name. Why is that?
It's because people like to disrespect rack running backs, guys that like to go into the backfield, catch open backfield pass. I mean, maybe you can even consider that Dalvin Cook.
You think? They don't disrespect Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, but C-Mac, he can run up the throat and just get crazy amount of yards. C-Mac is just amazing.
He's all around. He doesn't have a weakness.
He's all around. But Zeke for an option. He doesn't have the greatest hands in the world. He's not always catching balls back in the backfield. He's running up the gut, pounding that team's defense. And no one really wants to give any type of talk to Alvin Kamara about how great he really is, how versatile he can run screens with him. You can run wildcat systems with him. You can throw him. You can go run 4 verticals. Kind of have everyone on the edges.
You can do it all.
You can do it all, man. That's why I give him MVP. And I think the Saints are really going to have a challenge this year, and he's really going to push Alvin Kamara to that next level that he needs to reach.
Well, that's a hot take. I think it might be a stretch, but I'm intrigued to watch.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'll give you props. I'll give you props if it pans out. Kyle, who is your offensive player of the year?
To win his second straight offensive player of the year is Christian McCaffrey. There's nobody else in that offense who are going to give the ball to Christian McCaffrey almost 25, 30 times a game. And if he doesn't get hurt, he'll have a 1,000 season again. And they have a better quarterback in the system now, Teddy Bridgewater, so hopefully they'll be able to pass to McCaffrey more out of the slot. It's McCaffrey's award to lose. He's the best running back in the NFL.
And it stinks because, I think last year he had an MVP season, could have won MVP, but Offensive Player of the Year has sort of become the consolation where it's like the best non-quarterback award.
Yes,
That's sort of what it's become because it's like the MVP is, they might as well rename it Quarterback of the Year,
But as a sleeper pick, I will go Kyler Murray as Offensive Player of the Year.
Nice.
I'll go Kyler Murray there. They added DeAndre Hopkins, another year in Cliff Kingery's system. I feel like Kyler Murray's going to have a breakout season more than even last year. And I think they're in a tough division. I do think the Cardinals might be able to sneak in with that last wild card spot, especially with 7 teams now.
Nice.
In the playoffs.
Nice. I like that pick a lot. For my Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going Saquon Barkley. I think he's going to remind everybody how good he is. His rookie year, he was probably the best running back in the league. I don't think that's a stretch to say that. And then, you expect a guy to get better after his rookie year. Last year, he battled injuries. And because of that, people sort of bumped his stock down a little bit, maybe forgot just how good he is. So I think this year, that second-year jump comes to fruition. And because he's not a quarterback, we see him win Offensive Player of the Year instead of MVP.
Okay, I respect that.
I mean, I think this is a guy who, he can put – at some point, he may even have an MVP season. I think he's the best running back I've ever seen.
Wow, you say that over C-Mac right now?
Yeah.
At their point right now, who would you rank, overall pure talent? Who are you giving it to, C-Mac or Saquon?
Listen, they're both great running backs, so I don't want to shortchange either of them, but I'm going to go Saquon just because I think physically he's a little ahead of McCaffrey.
Oh, yeah, I respect that. I mean, Penn State, Saquon was just different than any other athlete.
Yeah, and his rookie year, he was just different, Yeah.
They're both just two completely different running backs, too. I mean, Saquon Barkley's that straight, we're going to run you over. And he's just a pure physical specimen, but McCaffrey's more about finesse. He's more about catching pass out of the
He's a
backfield.
straight lateral quickness.
Yes.
But see, why I'm glad you brought that up because I think McCaffrey's a better power runner than he gets credit for, and I think Saquon's a better quick finesse, lateral quickness type of running back than he gets credit for, and a better receiving running back than he gets credit for.
Sure.
So I really think both these guys, the margin between them is splitting hairs. I just think Saquon physically a little better.
So do you think those two are the two best running backs in the NFL? Those are
Hands
one and
down.
two.
Hands
Yeah,
down. I think it's
are my one
those
and
two and then everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Underrated option for offensive player of the year, Kenny Galladay. Whoa.
Dude, look, Alvin Kamara was already your underrated. We're going to get even more underrated.
Look, I think the Lions are going to have a historically great season, and the reason for that is Kenny Galladay, because I truly believe he's
So you also think the Lions are going to have a historic season? Was that his words?
Offensive season.
Do you have any other underrated takes you'd like to tell us about, Jeff?
That's it. Just because I was looking at the Detroit Lions last night. I mean, I'm looking at their division.
Yeah, I've always liked the Lions on paper, but it's never worked. Yeah, they're frauds.
Matt Patricia is building a Patriots-esque type of team.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Hopefully, you can put it together. But on paper, Matthew Stafford, Kenny Galladay is like let's say rich is up here. This is like Calvin Johnson. You have a wealthy right here. I put Kenny Galladay right there. He's like Matthew Stafford's like version 2 of like Megatron.
He's a good receiver.
He's big. He can do a lot of like route running and do deep route running. He can do short route running. I think that if they take the next step, he could be an underrated option for it. I know it's a hot take right now, but Kenny Galladay.
Alvin Kamara was a hot take. Yeah. This is. I don't know if there's a word for what this is.
This is a
scorching hot take.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can Matthew Stafford stay on the field for 16 games?
Exactly. But he is the top 10 quarterback if he can stay at his peak, because he's a great quarterback.
We'll talk about that next segment for sure.
Next segment, we'll get into a little Matthew Stafford talk. Anyway, Jeff, I'm scared to come back to you, but who is your MVP?
MVP. So I have 2 jotted down right now just because when I think of championship.
Give me 1A and 1B.
Patty and then Brady, because I think Brady could really turn it up this season just to show people that Bill Belichick was not the reason he was successful. It wasn't McDaniels. It wasn't the system that he was in. It was purely Brady alongside of Bill Belichick. I really want to see him with all these weapons. I mean, the Patriots did not bless Brady with these type of weapons before. I mean, Tampa Bay has blessed him with Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard. I mean, tell me last time the Patriots had that much like personnel on the field, because what do they had? Like Hogan, Edelman, Cooks.
Oh yeah, they're loaded on paper.
They're loaded, and I will really want to see what Brady does for that. But Patty is obvious, choice, because Patty signed a 10-year extension. His weapons are getting better and better. Also, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman. I mean, Demarcus Robinson's developing. I mean, they have an overall great squad developing over there. I mean, and then Andy Reid is putting it together.
I like that. And I think Tom Brady is somebody who he's got everybody's attention. Everybody's so intrigued by him that if he puts together a great season, they'll hand him the MVP.
Oh, they're going to hand him the MVP.
Yeah, and I'd love to see it. Patrick Mahomes on the other side of that coin, because I think he's going to have a great season. I've said it before, I'll say it again, most talented quarterback I've ever seen. I think the problem is, like, with MVP, everybody wants to give it to the new guy on the block, or the Tom Brady, who everybody's so intrigued by. It's sort of like the same reason why LeBron James and Michael Jordan don't have more MVPs, and that's why I think Patrick Mahomes is not going to win MVP this year.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if we're being real, LeBron or Pat Mahomes should win the MVP every year.
Exactly.
If the Chiefs did not have Patrick Mahomes, it'd be borderline.
He is the most valuable player in the league. So if we're going by the definition of MVP, he should win it every year. Yes. But it's like he's reached that level where it's like for him to win MVP, the standard is so much higher than a Tom Brady to win the MVP.
He has to break every single
now.
record of the book.
Yeah, he's probably gonna have to throw 60 touchdowns for him to give him MVP.
Oh yeah, because we know that defense is not winning on paper. I mean, that defense still needs a lot of work, especially if they want to go back and be.
I think they brought back Chris Jones.
I mean, Chris Jones is a great piece to have back, but at the same time, I think they need more secondary.
More secondary help.
Jamal Adams would have been so great with Tyrann Mathieu or one of the boys. I love Jamal Adams.
How many more times do you think he brings up Jamal Adams?
Put him into a Browns jersey. I cried when I found out he was not going to be put into a Browns jersey, because that's a player I wanted since day one. He's like years better than every other.
I'm surprised he didn't pick Jamal Adams to win MVP.
Kyle, who is your MVP?
I'm gonna pick another Seahawks player, so a defensive player of the year, and then Russell Wilson for my MVP. Russell Wilson. I think that MVP is more given off of everybody can put up good stats. Matthew Stafford puts up as good as stats as anybody every single year, but his team success isn't there, and that's why they don't give him the MVP. So with the amount of additions that the Seahawks have made and how young they are, and how I feel developed they are, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, some of these young guys. Hopefully Chris Carson doesn't fumble the ball 12 times this season. But I just feel like they're going to give it to Russell Wilson if they have a 13-3, or if it's a 14-3, if it's a 17-game season. They're going to give it to Russell Wilson. I think it's his time. I think that he's been slept on a couple times. He's been always second, third in MVP voting the past 4 or 5 seasons. I think they finally put it together with additions in Jamal Adams, a bunch of offensive line help, Mikey, Potty, Chadrick Ward. Hopefully Russell Wilson doesn't have to scramble for his life, and he can finally put up that 5,000-yard season with 35 touchdowns.
I like that. I love that pick. I think he is in the sweet spot of his career. I think DK is going to make a jump that's going to make Russell Wilson even better. So I like that. My MVP, I came close to going Russell Wilson, but I'm going in a different direction. I'm going Kyler Murray for the same reasons that I wrote off Mahomes, and that's that he's the new kid on the block. He's got that new car smell still, and he's gonna he's gonna make that second year jump, be better than he was as a rookie year. He's got all the weapons around him.
Yeah.
So, and arm talent, right up there with the Russell Wilsons and the Patrick Mahomes. Plus, athleticism, running ability, maybe just behind Lamar. So Kyler Murray is my MVP.
I'm worried for him, man. I'm worried for him because he's gonna have that Baker Mayfield effect where he had a great first rookie season, and then everyone put a lot of pressure on him. Got DeAndre Hopkins just like they got Odell Beckham. He was fine with Christian Kirk just like Baker was fine with Jarvis Landry. It's gonna happen just like that where he's gonna be pressured to throw to DeAndre Hopkins. They're gonna double team DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on him. I don't know if he's ready for it. I think he's going to just be just like Baker, and that's what scares me about him. His division is worse than Baker's, and Baker's is pretty bad right now with the Steelers and Ravens, and then Joe Burrow coming out of nowhere. But
we will see. Unfortunately, guys, that's all the time we have for our way too early awards. Go read Kyle's article on HiQ News. Great read. When we come back, we will get into our top 10 quarterbacks leading into the season.
Hey guys, I hope you are enjoying Just Winning this week. It's a good episode, but God, that dude Jeff does not have some good takes. But it's still a fun episode. I hope you're enjoying it. Here, I am excited to announce who my next guest on this week's episode of Almost Game Day is.
I have a very special guest, Mr. Mike Golick Jr. Let me tell you, this is one of the nicest guys I have met so far in this industry. So thank you so much for coming and talking to me. I really appreciate it.
Hey, listen, smart move. I am not immune to flattery, so buttering me up on the way in is the absolute right way to do this. You're learning already.
That was the goal. I had it in my notes.
Welcome back, guys. As we preview the NFL season, we're giving our top 10 from a different skill position each week. And now that we're 2 days away from the kickoff of the NFL season, we are getting into the most important position in the game of football, our top 10 quarterbacks. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Jeff, give me your number 10.
So I'm going to go Kyler for number 10.
Kyler for number 10.
Kyler Murray for number 10.
I think that's a great pick. I think he's got a lot of talent. Personally, I wasn't quite ready to throw in my top 10, but I respect the pick. And I think by the end of this season, he could be in my top 5.
Oh, yeah.
So
he has the potential for sure.
Yeah, great pick. Kyle, give me your number 10.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz,
number 10. I think he barely snuck in there.
Really?
You got to remember, 2 years ago he almost won MVP.
But are we talking about when he's on the field? Because when he's on the field, I think he looks like, a way better than number 10 quarterback. But I do get he's battled the injuries, so that makes it very hard.
That's why he's sticking to my number 10.
Yeah.
He has to give another really good season before I can put him.
Okay, fair enough. My number 10, I'm going Matty Ice, Matt Ryan. Listen, the guy's a good quarterback. He doesn't do anything amazing, but he does everything good. So, I think number 10, he was my number 10 last year. He's my number 10 this year. He'll probably be my number 10 for years to come. I don't see him moving up. I don't see him moving down. That's Matt Ryan.
Keep that Julio, Matt Ryan connection going. It's always gonna be
That's
like,
Matt Ryan.
Gonna be in that range,
Yes,
sure.
sir. Jeff, give me your number 9 quarterback.
Number 9, we have to go with the big old man, Big Brady, big old time Brady.
The old
man.
dog.
The old dog. I think he's gonna turn it up with the Bucks, man. He has a lot of weapons, like I said earlier, man. He's gonna turn it up for sure.
I like that. That is a little
It's
low,
a low.
but he's old, He's the old dog.
Oh,
so
yeah, he's dropping off a little bit, but he's not dropping off that much. He's definitely better than the majority of quarterbacks for sure.
I like that. Kyle, who is your number 9 quarterback?
He's my number 9 just for the fact he can't stay on the field, but Matthew Stafford.
Nice.
Matthew Stafford's my number 9.
Nice. I like that. Dude's got a rocket for the arm. He actually just missed my list. He was my number 11 quarterback. I think, similar to Matt Ryan, just good at everything, not great at anything.
I think that he's great at throwing the deep ball.
Yeah.
But that's the only part about his game that I like. He does kind of commit a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
That's why he's so low. On my list.
Consistency is what would bump him up
Yes.
well within my top 10. My number 9 guy, I went with Dak Prescott. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's better than he gets credit for. What I want to see him run the ball more. I get you want to keep him healthy, you want to keep him on the field, but when he's playing his best football is when he's a threat to run the ball. Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to see more from Dak. And like I said, I think he's a great quarterback. Only reason he's number 9 is because there's just so many talented quarterbacks in the game right now.
Oh yeah, dude. The addition of CeeDee Lamb's gonna be really nice for the offensive, offensive room right there. Especially with Amari Cooper still on the side.
Yeah,
nice.
I am interested to see how it works with this Mike McCarthy offense.
Oh, yeah,
so
for sure.
we'll see how that goes.
Dak Prescott is not in my top 10 until he proves me he can win a big game.
Honestly, you know what? That's fair. I get that. I'm just going with straight what I see when I turn on their film. And the talent-wise, I feel like he's a lower top 10 guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Jeff, who is your number 8 quarterback?
Jumping on right into him. I mean, Dak.
Prescott.
He's definitely at the lower end of the spectrum, but he's still a very talented quarterback when you just look at it on paper. Everything looks good on paper, especially when you can throw on the film and you can reciprocate the same type of energy from it. Because some games, Dak Prescott's really looking good. Like you said, when he's running that dual threat type of quarterback feature that he has, he's always flawless most of the time, unless he's playing, a decently hard defense.
Mm-hmm.
But now since he has help and Mike McCarthy to lean on him instead of Jason Garrett, I think he's going to really, turn it up this season.
I like that a lot. Who is your number 8 quarterback?
My list is kind of based off not what I see on the film, but more like if I have one drive left, I'm down by 4. Who am I lead? Who's leading me down the field? And some person who's been doing it for years since 2008 is Matt Ryan.
Yes.
Matt Ryan, I feel like I could throw him in that role, and I feel like he could go lead me to a victory. And that's why I have him above Stafford and Wentz, because I trust him more than both of them.
I like
at this point.
I like that.
Even though he's not the most talented guy, he doesn't commit a lot of turnovers.
And, to a coach, trust is more important than, your Matthew Stafford with the rocket arm who, may not be as consistent, may not be quite as trustworthy, especially in crunch time.
Mm-hmm.
So, my number 8 quarterback is Tom Brady. It was hard for me to put him this low because I have the utmost respect for Tom Brady. I think he is hands down the greatest quarterback of all time. The reality is, like I said with Dak, there's just so many good quarterbacks right now. And I think, physically maybe he's taken a little bit of a step back. That pick 6 against the Titans was what was burned into my brain when I was making these rankings, and that's why he's so low at number 8 for me.
Yeah, no, Brady. I think Brady's ending of the season was really brutal for Patriots fans, alongside Sean over there. I mean, it's been very hard for Patriots fans to see him throw an interception, then just go to a whole other team. But I definitely agree with that statement.
Yep. Jeff, who is your number 7 quarterback?
Number 7, another old man down the block, Drew Brees, just because Alvin Kamara, like I was saying earlier. My
Drew Brees because Alvin Kamara. Not Michael Thomas, not because he's just that good, because of Alvin Kamara.
No, obviously I'm just but like I said, the abundance of weapons. I mean, last season, he had a career season at this age. I mean, man is getting deep down into his career to where quarterbacks usually don't make it, besides, your Tom Brady's, which now he's going to be one of those Drew Brees. But anyways, Kamara, Michael Thomas, Sanders, all these weapons is just looking really nice for them for sure.
Nice.
Sean Payton's definitely going to put that system into work.
Nice. Love the pick. Kyle, who is your number 7 quarterback?
I got the cheesehead at 7. I got Aaron Rodgers. Okay. I feel like that he's getting older. He's up there in age. And I feel like with Bryce Love now being picked in the first round, he is now under pressure to have one of the best statistical seasons of his career. And
I think he will. I'm a cheesehead myself, so it hurts to hear him that low, and my bias might come into play when I say I think he will, but I think he will.
Yeah, especially he kind of had a down season last year, so to begin the season.
Here's the thing. I don't think he did have a down season. I think he had a couple down weeks, but that was when Devontae Adams was injured.
Yeah.
People don't bring that up.
That is true. He doesn't have a lot of weapons around him, and especially back in 2010 when he had Donald Driver, Greg Jennings.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. When Aaron Rodgers was playing his best football, they had a loaded receiving core.
But I think that's every quarterback too.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
every
But
quarterback.
Rodgers, I think you turn on the film, you see a little more special throws than most. But yeah, as a cheesehead, hurts me to hear him that low. My number 7, I stole straight from Jeff Laux, and that is Drew Brees. Again, I've said it with the past 2 years, I'll say it with him. He's such a good quarterback, but there's so many talented guys right now. I think Drew Brees, he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've ever seen. Great leader. I think, ultimately it comes down to the fact he's in his 40s. He hasn't delivered in the playoffs the past couple years. So Drew Brees sitting right there at number 7. Jeff, give me your number 6 quarterback.
Number 6, and when you're talking about Aaron Rodgers, I was looking at my list and I'm like, he's right next to Matthew Stafford, but which one would I value more? And I'm gonna say, at the moment...
Are we talking about beer chugging or are we talking about playing football?
Exactly. I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers at the spot just because of the age, but I can see him interchanging with the 5, 6, 7 spot right now in the rankings for sure. I mean, he has a lot of pressure on him for sure as a legendary quarterback and having, kind of a couple off seasons, not making it that far into the playoffs, not having that many weapons to play with. I mean, now hopefully the running back situation is better for him. Hopefully they're all healthy. And like I said, with many of the quarterbacks, the weapons are looking really nice for him. Hopefully the age doesn't catch up to him. But if he looks like a couple years ago's Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I would not see him. I would not mind seeing him as our MVP if he turns it up this season. Goes, maybe 12 and 5, something like that.
I would absolutely love to see that.
Yeah.
Kyle, give me your number 6 quarterback.
This is where I got Tom.
Tom?
Yeah, kind of middle of the road pack, old, not the most talented quarterback in the world anymore, but he still makes really good decisions, and I know I can trust him in a 2-minute drill to win the game.
Nice. Nice. I do think 2-minute drill and you're down Tom Brady over anybody is who I want.
Yes.
So.
And that's the only reason why he's so high on my list, because I value him so high in the clutch.
Trust. You're a big trust guy. I respect that. I know I can trust you. My number 6 quarterback, I went Carson Wentz.
Okay.
Here's the thing. When Carson Wentz is on the field, I think easily, right up there with the best. The problem with him is he's got to stay on the field. I think last year he even lit it up with terrible receivers. Nelson Aguilar was his best receiver, and that dude couldn't catch anything. So, I think this year you got Rager. Hopefully we can keep Deshaun Jackson on the field. Those two were electric in week 1. So we only got a small sample size of those two. So hopefully they can keep it going.
Oh yeah, the sad thing about that is that Rieger even is just announced that he was injured.
Oh man.
So it's just
Don't tell me that.
It's awful.
Jeff, who is your number 5 quarterback?
Number 5, I'm going to go with good old boy Matthew Stafford, 32 years old. I mean, 19-5 last year. That's pretty good for a guy that is in a system with Matt Patricia that he's trying to mimic the Patriots, but he's doing an awful way of mimicking them with their old roster. He's acting like Matthew Stafford is some type of Tom Brady, but I think Matthew Stafford could even be better than Brady at one point in his career. Not accolades-wise, because Brady's the most champion guy, but overall physically-wise, I think Matthew Stafford is overall top 5 in the league for physical.
Wow.
Because his arm is so great, man. I mean, King Galladay now is gonna have all
Here we go.
I'm not gonna even
Listen, man.
I'll let you move on.
I never would have expected Stafford anyways top 5, but I respect it.
I go him.
Kyle, who is your number 5 quarterback?
He might be low on some people's lists, but I got Deshaun Watson.
Nice.
Deshaun Watson at 5, just not proven in the playoffs yet. Puts up great statistical numbers, but we'll see how he plays this year without DeAndre Hopkins. With Will Fuller as your number 1 receiver, we'll see how good he plays.
I think Brandon Cooks is the sort of the perfect receiver with Deshaun Watson, that deep threat. I love the pick. I'm gonna go my number 5. I'm gonna go the cheesehead Aaron Rodgers. I think here's the thing. You turn on the film from last year. He was making all the throws he ever did. I remember Kansas City. Everybody thought he was throwing away. Throws a dime to Jamal Williams in the corner of the end zone. I think he can still make every throw on the field, and I think he's rested right now, and he's probably gonna have a great season. Great season. Jeff, who is your number 4 quarterback?
Deshaun Watson. like you just said. I do think that this season's gonna be a whole different world for him, just because they did get David Johnson. Even though he's an injury risk, if he can really turn up the table like he did, what was it, like 3 or 4 years ago, where he was the number 1, number 2 option in the league for running back, then why couldn't they go into their possible division round? I mean,
Absolutely.
The potential for this team can go all the way up here, but let's see what Bill O'Brien does with it, because what Bill
That's
O'Brien
my
does.
issue.
That's
Bill
my
O'Brien.
issue. But yeah.
All right, Kyle, who's your number 4 quarterback?
40-year-old Drew Brees is my number 4. He's very high. He still hasn't shown me the decline. Yeah, he can't throw the ball more than 30 yards down the field, but he's the smartest quarterback in the NFL. He makes the best decisions of anybody. And until I see that he starts making mistakes and he's just not mentally there anymore, he will always be in my top 5. He is.
I agree.
He's also a top 3 quarterback of all time.
I agree. The injuries kind of knocked him down a little bit for me last season, but when he was on the field, he was as good as he's ever been, maybe better. So I think that's a great pick. My number 4, I'm going to copy another one from Jeff Lowe. I'm going Deshaun Watson. I think, in the right system with the right team, he might be number 1. But, I mean, such a talented kid. I think he got robbed of the Heisman when he was at Clemson. And, I think, I'm going to say it, they need to fire Bill O'Brien, get him a good head coach in there, and they're Super Bowl contenders. He's that good. Jeff, who is your number 3 quarterback?
I'm going to go with the Mr. Herbert Boy himself, Lamar Jackson.
Oh.
And I have no issue with putting him in my top 2. I don't think he's better than Patrick Mahomes, but I can see him being better than Russell Wilson at the point right now. Russell Wilson, I think, is going to be better overall than Lamar Jackson, because obviously overall Patrick Mahomes is just it's a different level.
Oh yeah,
it's a different overall talent gap, I think, right now, and it's not like it's crazy, but at the same time I think put Patrick Mahomes on any team, they're going straight to the Super Bowl. Yeah. But I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson. He still has a decent amount to prove, but he's proven a lot just in these past 2 seasons coming out of Louisville. He's been great, and as a Browns fan, I hate it. But you love to see it for the game.
Love to see it. Kyle, who's your number 3 quarterback?
I kind of see the trend of giving our top 3 right here. So I have the same exact top 3. Lamar Jackson, until he proves to be an elite thrower of the football, he's going to be my number 3. But he's just the most athletic, he's the greatest athletic player in the NFL today. Oh, yeah. He can make every single run in the book. He has every single move. Nobody can tackle him. Yeah. But until he proves to me he's an elite thrower, he's going to be my number 3. Russell Wilson at 2. He makes every throw in the book. Improviser. He can get out of the pocket whenever, especially with his O-line. He's had to prove he can escape. He has had to prove he can escape pressure. And Pat Mahomes. It's just no question. Pat Mahomes should be everybody's number 1. If Pat Mahomes is not somebody's number 1, they're not a fan of the Chiefs. They're probably a fan of the Chargers.
Or Broncos or something. I like that list. My top 3 looks a little different from you guys. Number 1, of course, being the same. But my number 3 is Russell Wilson. It's splitting hairs with these top 3s, I'll say that. But here's the thing. Lamar Jackson over Russell Wilson at 2 because, his legs are so special in the way that Patrick Mahomes' arm is special. And I think people don't give him enough credit for that because running is looked at a secondary skill for quarterbacks. But it's becoming less that way, I mean, he can split running and passing attempts. He can split that down the middle, and they can be a winning football team. So I think, he's such a special runner that I've got him up there at 2.
Oh yeah, more Josh Allen's and more like Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson's in the game. It's really
running is becoming an important skill for a quarterback to have, and he's the best I've ever seen. And he still has a very good arm, maybe not elite, but a very, very good arm. So
pure pocket passers are not really valued in today's NFL. Unless you run a 4.6 or faster 40, it doesn't seem like you're being picked in the first.
Exactly.
Even Joe Burrow ran a 4.5 40.
Oh yeah.
And he's touted as a pocket passer.
Yeah.
But he can still use his legs and get away from pressure and even go for a if he needed to.
Well, guys, that's all the time we have for top 10 quarterbacks. I'm interested to see who sneaks into this list after this season. When we come back, we will get into our beast, bust, and best of the week.
How has a failure or apparent failure set you up for a future success? And do you maybe have a favorite failure of yours?
I think there was a time in my life where I was living in Germany. I'd lived in Germany for a year. You might have read that in the article, actually. And I remember coming back from Germany and having the goal in mind to like work in baseball, but really being completely resigned that there's no way I could possibly make it happen. I just didn't have, the technical coding know-how to be like a numbers cruncher in a front office. I didn't really have like any connections in the industry to speak of. And so I just felt like completely dejected. And, I had this YouTube channel that had 800 subscribers. And the first time I made a baseball bits, which is, like you said, the flagship series, I probably got like 200 views or something like that. But then I kept making them. And I think by the time I got to the third one, it just blew up. And then that's kind of where I got to where I am now.
Welcome back. This is the segment where we give our beast, bust, and best of the week. Jeff, who is your beast of the week?
My beast of the week, Jonathan Taylor. I think he's gonna overall just take the Indianapolis Colts to levels that they have not seen in running back play in a minute.
I like that. Kyle, who is your beast of the week?
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton, why?
Brand new offense, going against a Miami defense. They have no preparation for that offense, a brand new offense that they're about to show off. Who knows what they're going to run? But I think it's going to be Cam Newton.
Nice. I hope you're right. My beast of the week is Mitchell Trubisky. It was announced this week he's going to be the starter over Nick Foles, and this is put up or shut up time. Okay? So this is his last chance. He earned the starting job. So good on you, Mitch Trubisky, for beating out a Super Bowl MVP. Now let's prove it. Jeff, who is your bust of the week?
Mr. Joe Burrow. Everyone's hyping him up. It's gonna happen to him. Everyone's gonna hype Joe Burrow up to be that Heisman candidate or winner that he once was, and he's not gonna lift those levels with that Bengals team. That Bengals team is not good. Zach Taylor is not a good coach, and show me where he's been a good coach at so far. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
It's a hot.
Not a Joe Burrow guy.
Not a Joe Burrow. Not a Bengals guy.
Okay.
Especially since they're in my division. It's not that I'm respectful of the Steelers and Ravens, but the Bengals last year, they're terrible. We were pretty terrible last year, but they're stinky terrible. And I don't see how Joe Burrow and T. Higgins can really fix that issue. Joe Mixon could turn it up. That's it, man.
Kyle, who is your bust of the week?
Amari Cooper. He's been battling injuries, going against the Rams, getting locked up by Jalen Ramsey all game. I see him having 3 catches for 20 yards.
Nice. My bust of the week is NFL cut week. Guys, this week we saw our hero Shaquem Griffin got cut. My last week's beast of the week for me, Clay Johnson, the Hard Knocks hero, got cut by the Rams, and then Duck Hodges on top of that with the Steelers cut. No. Yeah, those are three fringe guys that I was really rooting for. All 3 cut. So, cut week, you are my bust of the week.
Over Mason Rudolph.
Jeff, who is your best of the week?
The best of the week, Tom Brady. I already said his name once. I'll say it 2 or 3 more times. I believe in this. I believe in him this season. Excuse my language. But I can't see him not doing well with this team. What can go wrong for him besides injuries, obviously?
Nice. Kyle, who is your best of the week?
I'm gonna go the opposing team. I'm gonna go Drew Brees.
Okay.
Everybody talks about Tampa's offense, but who's on Tampa's defense? You got to think about that. He's got a great receiving core and great running back to throw to. I could see Brees throwing for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Because Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara.
My best of the week is the Kansas City Chiefs. I just want to take this opportunity to remind everyone they are the defending champions, and they are the champions until somebody knocks them off.
I mean, that's pretty true.
All right, guys, before we sign off real quick, give me your Super Bowl predictions. Jeff, I'll start with you.
Chiefs Texans. I go 35-24 Chiefs.
Wait.
So that can't be in the Super Bowl. That's 2 AFC teams. Give me an AFC team and an NFC team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no. I am so sorry about that.
This is a Browns fan, so he doesn't know anything.
Yeah, we don't talk Super Bowls in my hometown.
They don't know about the
we
Super
don't
Bowl.
talk Super Bowls
Anyway, give me a Super Bowl prediction, an AFC and an NFC team.
I'm gonna go hot on this one. I'm gonna go Chiefs, Falcons, because I do think
Falcons.
In that division, even though I have the Tom Brady, that team is looking pretty nice with Dan Quinn. Once you saw them a couple years before they lost that league against Patriots, man, that season they looked great, especially with Keanu Neal, all these guys that come off of injury. That defense looks really good, man. I don't know why everyone's calling them out just because that division.
All right.
That division's tough, but I do think they can break through, especially with the Saints. I think they're all going to be level, and then I think that overall the Falcons.
You might have me convinced, but probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Kyle,
Yeah.
Super Bowl prediction.
I'll go a hot take AFC. I'll go Bills.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes. Bills and Seahawks.
Bills, Seahawks.
Bills, Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
I'm going to copy your Seahawks pick, but I'm going to match them up against the Chiefs. Two of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. I think that's the Kobe-LeBron matchup everybody wants to see. So I'm going Chiefs, Seahawks. Guys, thank you for joining me today. That's all the time we have. Thank you, listeners, for listening. Have a great day.